Dota, you should do it. And let's get into this final match. Hello and welcome everybody to our grand final for the first ever N9 Dota 2 Cup. We have these teams playing off for a current prize pool of $400 and 5 BTS t-shirts. I am The.Spectre, joining me is Daredevil Dan, and we will be casting Hans Reborn and CSW in the best of 3 final.
And I'm excited, man. You don't normally see CSW knock down Hans Reborn to the lower bracket, but they climbed their way back up, just beating D4D, and they're going to go at it again in a best of 3 this time. So, I mean, it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Yeah, generally people say CSW and Hans Reborn are the top 2 teams. I think Noxious can definitely be thrown into the mix after beating out Hans Reborn, you know, a couple of times as well. They do get the occasional win against CSW too, so definitely top 3 contenders, but most people would agree that CSW and Hans are top 2 pretty solidly. And it's great to see them in a grand final against each other. It should be some great Dota.
Yeah, it really will be, and I'm just looking forward to it. I mean, we're both getting a bit worn from casting, but this keeps us alive. I've had like way too much caffeine today, and I've actually like got the jug on in the other room to make a coffee too. So I will like just casually walk out. And Kafini wants to go cast.
Can I co-cast?
It's a bit late, bud. We already started. If he's still around, yeah. If he's still around, he can do the second game if he wants to.
Yeah, you're more than...
I have no problem.
He's just kidding. He's not going to be joining us. That's sad.
I have no problem with people coming in if they want to cast. Yeah, especially pro players.
Yeah, shout out to all the Nox guys. I did see PPX in the chat earlier, so hello to all the Sydney boys. Hashtag Epping best suburb ever. So,
yeah, isn't Moops like your neighbor basically?
He's pretty much like a 2-3 minute walk away from my house.
I'm surprised you guys should do like a studio event.
Just me and him hanging out at my place. With
Pretty much.
Webcam on. 1080p, man.
Hey, you've got a girl and cats. And Moops. What else do you need?
I've got everything to be successful in Dota 2.
Pretty much.
You have the backing of gods. Hashtag gods cares.
I mean, if you've got God stand behind you, and hashtag gods cares, you basically have won Australian Dota.
You certainly have, and if we take a look at this drafting stage, first banned Storm Spirit out from Hans, as well as the Lich. It looks like they definitely wanted that Nature's Prophet as first pick, banning out one of his biggest counters, the Storm Spirit, something that we know Slicks can play exceptionally well as well. CSW return that with a Weaver ban out, as well as a Timbersaw. Timbersaw being one of the favorites of Balls, and he is just a complete terror on that Timbersaw.
Radiant's pick.
Queen.
Meanwhile, CSW picking up the Queen of Pain again, something that Slicks has been playing basically all day. The Crystal Maiden also picked up by them, so CM being a real valued pickup in this tournament so far, and just in general, CM's been enjoying a lot of time in the spotlight recently.
Yeah, next Assassin we haven't actually seen that much because of the stun change. A lot of people used to sort of, you know, click on people to stun. And now you can't do that. I mean, the hardest thing is when they're in melee range, and you have to like click past them, and then the angling's quite dodgy on it. But I mean, we've seen people like Tondas get, you know, 3-man stuns and epic things out of this hero. So
and we also saw him miss a lot too.
Yeah. But not a lot. I'd say he hit more than he missed.
Oh, definitely. But, you know, it's something that you do need to get used to. It does make Nyx weaker. Like, it really does. I didn't think that the change would be that great. I mean, most people, generally at a pro level, will groundcast anyway. It's kind of like Jakiro's Ice Path in that regard, where a lot of the time it's an area denial thing, but it does make laning early on a lot harder. It makes ganking a bit harder. You really have to choose whether to get off a stun or Vendetta then stun. And it makes it really difficult. So, you know, Nyx has actually really dropped out of the meta as far as, you know, being picked up has been, just simply because of that Impale change. And, you know, that's exactly what I assume Ice Frog was angling for. He's still picked up occasionally, but not that much, really. And I think...
Yeah, he's sort of... He's very situational, but kind of not. Like, you know, they just sort of... When you want him, you pick him up.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's going to be great against CM if she tries to ult in a team fight. If she's, trying to get away with it, Nyx Assassin will just go, nope. Vendetta, stun, mana burn, or just Carapace the ultimate so she gets stunned out instantly. She'll need a BKB to get that off full duration in, the rest of the game. So Nyx is a really great counter pick to Crystal Maiden. As well as Queen of Pain. There's so much area of effect damage that you can't really help if you're hitting the Nyx Assassin with that Scream. You can a bit with the ult, but the Scream's just kind of like, well, I'm gonna hit him, pretty much. So, Spike Carapace is just such a strong spell, and it's gonna be a lot... Yeah, it's gonna make life difficult for CSW in these team fights.
Radiant's pick.
I mean, meanwhile, Hans banning out the SK and the Earthshaker, so banning out the two heroes that Tomato's been doing really well today. And the Luna and Viper being banned out. The Elder Titan still in the game, which is a hero that Nox actually used to defeat Hans Reborn before. So maybe CSW looked for that Elder Titan for Tomato, who was actually the Elder Titan player as well for Nox in those games, so... we might see something like that picked up, as CSW already have the cause of Quap and Mirana picked up. I would assume they were going to go for another support hero.
10 seconds
and then maybe another semi-carry, or a bit of a hard carry.
Yeah, I honestly want to see these two play, like, a little bit of more normal Dota. Because I play carry most of the time, I like to see how carries play on a professional level. Especially the Australia carries, because that's sort of more, where we play, and it sort of means more. But these teams, they don't do that. They like to kill you all the time. And with a Chen pickup, that's going to make Hans Reborn a lot harder to kill.
Yeah, it is a way to counteract that Queen of Pain burst damage. Chen can come through with a heal from anywhere on the map. If you get up an early mech on him with some nice farming, it's a giant heal coming out early on. If you're in range for the mech, of course you're going to be hit by the hand of God, but if you get both at once, you basically go from almost dead to full health in an instant if you get that mech up early enough. And Risk, a great Chen player.
One of the best. He has his Michael skills. He knows when to do what he does, and he ganks well as well. So he's got everything there. And Clockwork now being picked up by Can't Say Whips, which I like in their lineup. It's a good thing, I think, to have a Clockwork when you've got a lot of ranged heroes, because you trap them and you're in the front. So basically your ranged heroes are fine to stand back. Plus it's also really good to have with the Mirana, with the arrow setup. If they're cogs, you can't miss an arrow.
It's also great for initiation because Clockwork can cog in, Mirana can follow with a leap, Queen of Pain can follow with a blink, and suddenly you have 3 heroes on you instantly. It's also great against the Nature's Prophet. If you try and sprout TP out, you're going to get caught instantly by that hook. You can, of course, pull some shenanigans, sprout somewhere different, Shadow Blade off to the side, which I've seen a couple of pro players do. Very cheeky and very smart, so we'll see how that Clockwork really comes into play against these heroes. And Puck being picked up, and we saw a Puck really rip through Clockwork in previous games, but we'll kind of see how it folds out in this game.
5 seconds.
Yeah. Puck, we don't really see Hans pick up Puck most of the time. They're normally the ones picking up the Queen of Pain, but it's going to switch up. And Puck obviously has the advantage in mid against the Queen of Pain, 10 out of 10 times, unless you can psych them out so much that you can hit the Poison Sting. But against Hans Reborn, you're probably not going to be able to do that. So they might think about changing their lanes up, not lane ups, and putting the Queen of Pain in a safe lane, kind of like Hans Reborn do.
Well, this is basically the lineup that CSW defeated last time. Of course, it didn't have the Nyx and Chen, but it was Slicks on the Queen of Pain up against Shatan's Puck. And he really kind of, he did well early on, but then as soon as Slicks had the Hex, he just completely walked over him. So it's going to be very dangerous for him. And Slicks has really showed us basically every matchup he's had today has been Queen of Pain versus Puck, and he's won it. If not directly in the laning stage against kind of lesser players, against an equal player such as Shatan, he's kind of stayed in range with last hitting, and then just completely wiped the floor with them in team fights. So
yeah, he really has, and I think the biggest thing is that Queen of Pain always beats the puck later on, which is kind of what we've been seeing. But Invoker now picked up by Can't Say Whip, so we'll be most likely seeing the Queen of Pain go somewhere else now. And I think Invoker will be able to take this puck on mid.
Yeah, definitely. If you get up the Cold Snap, as well as some Forged Spirits, you can easily take him down. However, when Kirei did play him in mid last time, he went more of a Quas-heavy build, and got an early level of Wex as well, so kind of playing it a bit different than the standard kind of pub stompy complete QE build.
10 seconds to go.
But we'll see how it goes once you do get kind of the 4 levels in both. We're talking about level 10, 11 here though. Invoker really craps all over a puck, but it's going to be difficult. Invoker, if he goes the Exhort build, can just throw out those right clicks. Puck can phase shift one of them. He can't phase shift all of them. If you throw out a Cold Snap as well, Shatan's really going to have to rely on that orb to get out of the fights.
Yeah, definitely. And I really do prefer the Exhort builds on the Invoker, especially with the change. You have so much kill potential, and when you've got cogs, it's perfect. But, I mean, the thing is, who do they kill with that? You can't really kill the puck with it because he can escape it. You can't kill the Lifestealer with it because of his rage. And even Nyx, you know, with the Carapace, it's quite risky. So you kind of only target Chen Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, and a hero picked up the Lifestealer. We haven't seen him all day. He used to be the toast of the town.
Yes, we have.
Did we?
We saw him once today with
that's
Puck
right, with
and
Puck
Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, that's right.
Like the same two people.
But I mean, he didn't really have he didn't have much of an impact on that game.
I didn't.
So maybe we'll see more from Balls, the carry player for Hans. He does have 2 ways of getting it as well. In fact, going inside the Nyx, inside Vendetta, is very potent. If you get a Vendetta hit off, Balls comes out, throws out, you know, the infest damage, of course, and the open wounds. It makes the stun a lot easier to hit. So a lot of damage looking to come out in that way, and it's great having that built-in BKB for all of the magic damage that CSW were throwing out. And speaking of CSW, we have Godot playing on that Mirana, Slicks on the Queen of Pain, Tomato on the Clockwork, Kirei on that Invoker, and Tupac on Crystal Maiden.
And over on Hans Reborn, we have Endless Winter on the Nature's Prophet, Firestarter on the Nyx Assassin, Balls playing the Naix, Lippy on that Chen, and Shatan playing the Puck. So not having Risk on the Chen, but having him on the Nyx Assassin, which we do see him on the Nyx quite a lot. I don't actually remember seeing Chen on Lippy on Chen a lot, but obviously you don't put someone on Chen unless they play Chen quite a lot. It's not a hero. You just go, you're a support player, you can play it. It's fine.
Yeah, I think the majority of games I've seen, Lippy has been Leshrac, Venomancer, or Lina sometimes, but mainly it's been Leshrac, Venomancer. They kind of really haven't been picking Leshrac up recently, which makes me very sad, because Leshrac is like one of my favorite heroes.
It is your favorite hero. Let's not lie about it, it's your favorite hero.
I don't know, Tidehunter is pretty far up there.
Yeah, but you never talk about carry Tidehunters. You always talk about carry
my carry Tidehunter is amazing.
Your carry Tidehunter's probably awful.
It's amazing. I got a Divine Rapier one game, and that was a game we were losing.
Yeah, but you're probably playing against noobs.
Well, yeah, I was playing in pubs.
Oh yeah, I got a Divine on a Tidehunter.
Yeah, I'm just like, well, what can I really get that's going to have game impact? I already have an AC and a Refresher and a Shivers, so, probably nothing. I'll just go all in, go for a Divine. I managed to get, like, a double kill and, you know, like a couple of good Ravages, but it's just not enough when you're just a Tidehunter.
With no splash damage and no good animation or anything, and Shatan just going straight on Slicks in this mid lane as soon as he moves up. But Tomato, look at him, he's a creepy guy. They've got to go on the Puck, I think, before he's level 2 though.
Yeah, he's got the cogs. Shatan doesn't have the orb, so if he gets him in the cogs, it's really dangerous, but Slick's kind of giving it away a little bit. He is standing quite far up, and they know that he's not in range. They now know that Puck definitely has that phase shift. But we do have Tomato going to that top lane already, so nothing will be happening in the mid lane right off the bat. But in bottom, Endless Winter eats his way out of the trees. Kirei getting very aggressive here. Tupac coming through. Frostbite's available, but he won't be able to get there in time, and trading a lot of HP for a little bit on the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, I mean, forcing him out of here is going to be good. Obviously, losing a bit of health on Invoker. But Invoker's he's fine. He's got Quas. And now Cold Snap is online, and Cold Snap against this Nature's Prophet is going to be pretty scary. He needs to play quite safe.
Yeah, Kirei managing to take off the the clarity, but taking a lot of harass for it. Does only have level 1 Quas because he is only level 2, and it looks like Godot and Tomato might be looking for a kill here. Firestarter has stacked up the camp. Godot's going to be very happy to kill off one of the creeps and basically ruin the pool for the next wave.
Yeah, and Slick's forcing this puck back now. Doing a lot of damage, and Slick's handily winning this lane. 11 for 6 against a 3 for 1 puck. Slick's is dominating Shaitan in this mid lane. And Shaitan has the better hero for this. But Slick's just outplaying him.
Yeah,
I don't think you can really say it any other way.
I honestly would have preferred Shaitan on the Tuskar here. You can roll to dodge the poison. Of course, it costs you quite a bit of mana to do that, and it's not readily spammable, but I mean, Slicks, he's just not going the poison. He knows Puck can dodge it, so why get it? He does grab it now at level 4, but usually you see it as kind of a first or second skill, so you know, he's changing the build-up. He is still getting it for the kind of gank potential that it gives you, and just playing the matchup really well. As we said, I think we've seen him play this matchup 4 times today. And Endless Winter going to run right next to Tupac. He's going to get frostbitten up. Kirei coming in here, but he's going to try and dodge it. He's got the Tornado, but he won't be able to get in range. The Tornado range is just a little bit too low at the level that he's at currently. But Tupac and Endless Winter trading blows, and he's going to have the Frostbite again. What are you doing, Winter? Out comes the Tornado, and it's a first blood for Kirei. Just a bit of
that blatant kill steal.
Just a real kind of underestimation of from Endless Winter coming out there of the cooldown of Frostbite, and it cost him his life.
Yeah, I mean, Crystal Maiden traded very effectively there. With the skills, she does have more damage output. She's got 10 less attack damage, but when you add in Frostbite, as you said, and the Nova, she just does a lot of damage. And, you know, even both at level 1, it's what? It's about 100 damage for both skills. And then the casual kill steal. But the Invoker actually getting the phase boots first. He probably could have rushed to Midas on this lane, actually.
We're going to have an open wounds coming out on top. Godot does have the leap if he wants to use it. Tomato throws out the cogs. The stun comes out. Ball's looking to chase, but he can't make it in time, and the Centaur Stomp just off the mark. So they will miss out on a kill there, but definitely forcing Godot back.
Yeah, and the cogs just forcing out the other heroes, you know, not being able to get in there. So nicely done by the Clockwork just to protect him, but this lane is quite dangerous. Godot being gone on again.
Godot,
and he's dead here.
The leap is on cooldown. They just dive right in, grab a kill there. Nick's picking up the kill with the stun. Ball's got to be angry about that. But still, you know, all jokes. He's still got the kill. He's got the experience, got some assist gold, so he'll be happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, at this point of a game, when it's very early, you're not all about getting the carry of the kills. You're about getting the kills. Sure, it's nicer to have that kill on the lifestealer, but sometimes it's not. I mean, you can get courier upgrades, you can get wards, you can get early boots for your supports, which are very important in a lot of games. So sometimes it's even better just to have it on your supports.
Yeah, sometimes it is. Endless Winter now has fully transitioned into the jungle, sitting at level 4.5, and will be helped out by his buddy pal Lippy on the Chen. So, you know, doing decently. They will kind of double jungle, split the experience, split a bit of gold, but in the end, you know, Nature's Prophet would have just died in the lane at bottom. As Tornado gets longer range and longer range, Frostbite's always going to hold him there. And it's not something he can go up against. And it looks like Tupac going for 2 levels in the Frostbite, so was going for more of a hero kill oriented build rather than creep killing, because that Frostbite is 10 seconds at all level on the creeps. But he can also just rotate into this jungle. Endless Winter's come back down to the lane, actually, to kind of one-on-one with the Invoker, but I think right now Invoker level 6 has the phase boots, Nature's Prophet almost level 5. It's something that Invoker can win pretty easily, and he shouldn't need the Crystal Maiden there, so getting solo experience on both of those heroes, as well as some decent gold up on CM, I think is going to be worth a lot more for CSW in this situation.
Yeah, pretty much. And you can't play against this Invoker bot lane anymore. If he catches you out past your tower, you're gonna die.
Yeah, I mean, Endless has just the boots and a salve. He has the ring of protection, but that doesn't really do much. If he gets cold snapped up, if Crystal Maiden even comes in for a moment, he's instantly gonna die. And
what's with all
you kind of expect it. Crystal Maiden's off the map. You know she's probably in the jungle. And so you always have to be so careful with your positioning. I think I would have preferred if Endless had just stayed in that jungle. I know it does kind of slow it down with Chen being there as well, but I don't think he's really going to be able to get much from this lane.
They're just writing jizz on the map now.
Over and over. So again, thank you to our sponsors, BTS, mainly David Gods Parker, as well as Daredevil Dan, and Godot, myself, The.Spectre, Dota, for casting, and as I said before, Godot just for kind of getting all of the players involved in this.
Yeah, and he put a bit of extra money in the pool, which is very nice.
Indeed. So,
what a nice guy.
He might just be winning back his own money.
I'm just gonna say you don't get it. That's admin costs. He's paying us. Oh, if only that was how it worked.
That would be so good. Actually get nice. Something.
You kidding? I get paid? Hey, one day, man. One day you'll be like a partner channel. We'll be casting, for 10,000 people for OzDota, because I think OzDota, if it got the recognition it deserved, it would be very popular, because it's action-packed. And people love action-packed Dota.
Yeah.
But it just like, the time zone's kind of bad for it. Except, like, right now it's good for it, because it's quite late here. But it's sort of early in EU, and North America's got a decent time to watch it for the earlier games. But it's just the fact that it's hard to get the word out. But it's getting better. Like, you think of us doing this, 6 months ago? There would have been, like, 12 people watching?
Yeah, there certainly would. Kind of CGP, as well as all of the hosting of games on the Dota 2 Lounge website, are helping out with that. A lot more attention is kind of being brought to OzDota, even if it is just people lamenting the loss of their rares. So, any exposure is good exposure. And it's good. We're getting a lot more tournaments being made, a lot of them having tickets in Dota TV. People love buying tickets just so they can, have the possibility of winning items, and people generally like to watch in-game as well, because you can have it in, full 1080p or whatever resolution your screen takes, and you don't have to worry about lag, so...
Yeah, it's pretty nice. And don't forget to keep an eye out for my next tournament. It will be the most prize money ever in an Australian tournament. I think I can leak that much detail.
Well, there you go. And
I think I'm safe to say that.
Also, we can say that Dan and I will be casting an upcoming tournament run by Esports Daily. It is the end-of-year Dota 2 Cup. It's being sponsored by Audio-Technica. It has $1,050 up for grabs in the prize pool. The first 4 places do receive something. As well as they're trying to get a bit more sponsorship to give away some gear to both viewers and players. So, no, that's not 100%, but it's in the works. The tournament sign-ups are available if you head over to southerncrossdota.com. There is a post up there about it. It should be a 32-team double elimination tournament.
Didn't they make it open for like 128 or something?
Yeah, but it's only like a 32-person bracket. I think they were going to change it up slightly.
128 teams in 2 days? We could totally do that. It's fine.
But it will be held on the 30th of December and the 30th of November and the 7th of December. So only a couple weeks till it's on. It's Saturday games for both days. And as more scheduling is released, I'll put it up on my Facebook page. So please head over to facebook.com/SpecDoto, like the page. It'll also go up on my Twitter, which is @SpecDota. So please come out, follow it. The stream also, if you're watching in Dota TV, it's Twitch TV/SpecDota. So come check it out, come like things, and be a part of our Big Oz family. You'll get all your updates. SouthernCrossDota.com is probably the best place to get updates about OzDota, in the Oceanic region. Not just Oz. New Zealand's there too, sometimes.
Yeah,
but
I'm like the only thing. I had a Mega Kai. He's a Kiwi. But he casts for Dota Talk now, so...
Oh, there we go. And it's just a great source of Dota information in the Oceanic scene. So we do have this game resuming. It's currently 5 minutes 32 into the game. The score is 1-1. Experience is pretty much even. If we take a look at the gold, it's around 1,700 in favor of CSW. So the lane's working out just a little bit better in terms of solo experience, and just the kills going their way with the first blood.
Yeah, exactly, and you know, quite a lull in the time. I mean, pauses, they do kind of throw you off the ball a little, but everyone getting back to it now, and Chen in a little bit of trouble here. Puck is going to manage to get out of there. The scream is going to come from Slicks. Needs a slow, nice troll trap coming out, and he should be able to get away here unless Slicks dives really hard. He does have his ulti, and it does look like he's going to go for this.
Nature's Prophet faking the comment. He just uses the scream, going for the right clicks. He grabs the kill without having to use ultimate. And now he's going to try and TP up, but he's taking so much damage from the tower. Shaitan throwing out the ulti, grabs that kill. So, it's not the best trade. Killing off a Chen for a Queen of Pain. But, you know, he thought he could get out of there. Didn't know Shaitan would come in from the side with the ulti, and unfortunately pays the price there.
Yeah, and just getting the pickup, I mean, that's a decent trade. Like, there's nothing wrong with that trade for Hans Reborn. Slick's dying, I mean, he was diving pretty far. He probably knew by that point he was going to die, but he went all in.
Yeah, I think when the scream didn't kill him off, he thought, oh crap, I got to hit him with one more right click. It did finally come out, but it was just a little bit too late. The teleport did come and got caught by Sprout, and there wasn't anything he could really do. But right now, Balls and Risk trying to take down the stack. Clockwork throwing in AoE damage as much as he can. Godot has only 1 level in the Starfall, 2 with the arrows, so can't really do too much at the moment. And for people asking in the chat, it's going to be $25 entry fee for the teams. So $5 per person. We're going to have open wounds thrown out on Tomato. The stun is going to catch him as well as the Nature's Prophet ulti, but nothing's going to come from it. And now a Hand of Might is purchased up on Kirei, getting it at the 8-minute mark, but it does still have to fly out to him, so...
Oh, Shaitan dodges the ulti from Slicks in mid and manages to get the kill. He faked out the ult once trying to do it, but didn't manage to get it, and Puck cleaned him up there. Nice dodge.
And unfortunately, Risk just not being able to capitalize on it. Shaitan playing really well, jumping down to his orb instead of just running up, and getting away with it completely. So a nice pickup from Shaitan, who was having a bit of trouble in the laning stage. Slicks was sitting at 44 and 19 to Shaitan's 24 and 3. So it was pretty much complete domination in that mid lane, but a nice pickup kill for Shaitan there.
Yeah, and he was 2 against 1 there as well, so really good on his part. But you know, still quite behind, even though Slicks has died twice now. He is over-leveling, but Slicks has doubled the CS.
Thought you had that, didn't you?
So if you take a look at the net worth, you know, Puck and Queen of Pain are basically neck and neck. Only about 200 gold behind them, but you see a free farm Invoker sitting on 4.3k gold and a Midas now. That's going to get dangerous. If he picks up, he could even just like grab a Yules and just death combo people.
Yeah, exactly. It's something that you often see in kind of pub invokers. You just go solo Voker, where you just throw out the Yule, Sunstrike, Deafening Blast, Meteor, and that's pretty much everyone dead. It's very hard to
you just
escape
kill
from
them.
that.
Even a Nyx Assassin, the Lifestealer, if he's run out of mana or doesn't get the rage off basically instantly, he takes so much initial damage. You can generally just kill him with your auto attacks.
It is a very, very dangerous combo, and one of the reasons why we love the Invoker. Slicks might be in trouble in this mid lane. We've got a smoked up Lippy sitting on the side here, but Shaitan really needs to get something like the ultimate off. In fact, Slicks will just walk straight into him. The Troll Trap doesn't come out in time, and he manages to blink back. Orb coming out will clip him, but that's going to be the end of the hit for now. Firestarter at top with the Nyx, doesn't throw out the stun, keeps on cancelling it, and then completely misses. There comes the open wounds. One more right click and it'll be the death. Tomato catching Risk inside the cogs, gets hit twice and pushed into range of the tower. Slicks grabbing the kill there. Unfortunate there for Risk, but also some great play from Tomato, putting down the cogs in a great position. And Ball's just taking a lot of hits from the creep wave here. Just trying to keep
He's like faking a bait.
Yeah.
I mean, Shaitan wasn't really close enough for them to go on it. And so it was kind of like this big sort of, yeah, we can take you, I'm fine. And he doesn't care if he takes a bit of harass damage. He's got Feast. He's full health again, and it does look like he's going to be going for the armlet. And Furion is picking up his Midas now as well. Nature's Prophet. Furion, same dude. Everybody knows, alright?
Yeah, exactly. I don't care at all. I just call it Furion or Nature's Prophet. Doesn't bother me at all. We are going to have Moonlight Shadow thrown out, so we might see some aggressiveness in on the mid lane. Tupac does have that Frost available. Shaitan gets hit by it instantly, as well as... Oh no!
Oh,
The Sunstrike gets dodged by Phase Shift. Shaitan running away. The ultimate gets thrown out. Now the pure nuke from Slicks. The blink coming out just in time, dodging the stun, but two great dodges there. And just no one ended up dying. And now a smoke up from the side of the Dire, heading down towards that bottom lane where Kirei, sitting on just that hand of Midas, needs to be very careful.
Yeah, they need to kill him, and this is a good movement from them if they can pick it up, which they should be able to. He's very far forwards, and there's 3 of them behind him. I don't see him surviving this.
Risk is coming.
And he's so screwed. He's like running to the enemy tower.
Trap comes forward. In comes the stun, and he just instantly explodes. Everything we expected and more. 10 out of 10 fireworks.
Yeah, he had no chance there. I mean, he's so far ahead at this point. He's 1,200 ahead of the Naix. But the thing is, farm feels a lot stronger on a Naix than it does on an Invoker. And look at that. Nice trick from Shaitan that we see Dendi and Puppy do with the sandbag from Lippy onto the puck. And then he orbs as soon as it goes off. So he heals a bit in Fountain, comes back, and his bottle gets refilled. It's a nice little trick.
You can do the same kind of thing with Kunkka X Marks when it's full level because you can use it on yourself, but a little bit less used than the Chen combo.
Yeah, it is a really nice combo, and I mean, it just got him full health, full bottle instantly. He's back in the fight, back in the game. Doesn't have to waste TP money, doesn't have to waste time. And he's sitting on 2,000 gold now, so he's 100 gold away from his Blink Dagger, which is basically going to change the fights completely. If you can get the silence off on the Quap and the Invoker, those are your 2 real main targets, I don't actually think you lose that fight, ever.
Ooh, Tomato hooks in, actually stuns out Endless a bit as well. The fire, the Sunstrike rather, way off target. The stun from Firestarter missing again. Use the Spike Carapace. Tomato's going to hit himself. Crystal Maiden, meanwhile, picking up Chen further down, but at the moment, they're not being able to catch up on Tomato. So a nice little pickup there from Kirei and Tupac on the Chen, grabbing him as he was trying to pincer them in.
Yeah, and just getting those sort of pickoffs of very much keeping them in the game. I mean, CSW, it looks very even at the moment. I think either team is ahead except the fact that there's a Naix on Hans who's got an armlet and tread. So he's going that full carry, screw mobility kind of build because he has a Nature's Prophet and a puck. He don't need movement speed.
And I think the big thing for him as well is he doesn't need something like the BKB. And CSW's basically all of their damage is magic. Like, it's going to be really hard for them to take down Naix in these fights. Like, very difficult. We're going to see a blink forward from Balls, from Shaitan rather, with Balls inside, but he doesn't quite make it. The Sunstrike won't be able to hit him. Tomato is under Moonlight Shadow. They're trying to go on him now. They do manage to get Marana from Puck. In fact, Tupac sitting at 5 health at the end of that. And Marana now picking up a hand of Midas of her own. It's just Midas gaming everywhere you look.
But it's good because, like, when you see Midas gaming, right, you normally expect it to go very late and be boring, but it's not with these teams. They're picking up Midases to get that initial extra attack speed, extra gold, and experience. I mean, what else would you have on a Crystal Maiden now? You'd have, what, some treads and a Ring of Health to go towards a 4-star or something? This gives her a lot more levels, a lot more gold, and her aura and her ulti are just going to get better. And they don't waste time with it. They use it very proactively and get shit done with it, rather than just go, we're going to farm a CM for 20 minutes so she'll have lots of items.
Yeah, and kind of another good thing is if they are off cooldown in a fight, they can instantly convert Chen creeps with it. So Chen loses a lot of power if you're saving those Hand of Midases, but by the same token, you're losing a lot of efficiency by holding the Hand of Midases. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword there.
Yeah, I think if, they're off cooldown, you see a Chen creep, you kill the Chen creep. But other than that, I don't think you save them. I think if you want to just go straight for the Chen, you get Helmet Dominators. And you just go, we've got your creeps now.
Yeah, there are just so many ways to do it. It's basically the old Necronomicon kind of get, but that doesn't work anymore. They can't be dominated, they can't be Midas. So that's kind of explaining the resurgence of Necro books, and I don't blame them. Necro book is an expensive item. Like, you do have to put a lot towards it, and you miss out on getting things like, a Hex, a Shiva's Guard, a lot of different utility items that could be better suited to it. So you really are putting in a lot of investment into a Necro 3, and when it used to just be counted by, 1,900 gold items, it was pretty,
it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was stupid. And it wasn't just a counter, it was like a steal.
Yeah, if it was a Helmet the Dominator, you took the creep for yourself. Like, it's like, hey, you spent 5,600 gold getting this, guess what, now you don't have it. Shaitan is going to blink in with the silence as well as the infest damage coming out instantly. The Nature's Prophet ultimate killing off the Crystal Maiden. They're trying to kill off Kirei, but they don't know where he is. Firestarter comes through with the dust, and Balls picking up the kill. An excellent gank there from Shaitan and Balls, picking up 2 kills for free.
Yeah, and Firestarter's rotation into that was very, very good. And, he was the one with the dust. He had to get in there, and now they're going to instantly go Roshan, which is a fantastic move. They got a kill. Well, they got 2 kills, quick pickoffs. They've got a Chen and an Nature's Prophet. They don't have a Medallion of Courage to make it faster, but with all these minions and just Anaex bashing it, it's going to die pretty fast.
Yeah, he is almost dead already. If we take a look at the experience graph, very up and down, but now 1,000 in the favor of Hans as far as experience goes, and about 750 gold in their favor. So it's still very, very even at this stage of the game. The Hand of Midases that they have on CSW, if we take a look, they have 3 Hand of Midases to Hans Reborn's 1. So that gold over time will start to dip back in CSW's favor, unless, Hans managed to take a whole load of towers that CSW don't have a reply for.
Well, that's what you do, isn't it? The more Midases and Necro books you have, you win the game. And Kiddo here, surprising the Firestarter didn't stun him there. They probably could have bursted him down before a response came from mid, but not risking anything, which is unlike this team.
Yeah,
they usually balls to the walls.
Yeah, being very careful. They knew there were quite a few heroes missing off the map, and they choose not to initiate into it, but they do have Shaitan with an infested Lifestealer here. I think they still might go for Kirei, and I honestly think they could pick him off still, but it looks like they are just going to back off and maybe look to pressure the T2 tower at bottom.
Yeah, I mean, they could see Kirei, but no one else on the map. And that's the danger zone. They probably could have killed him, but they didn't know that. They couldn't see them. And the Lifestealer now picking up a Basher, but honestly, when you sit and puck like this, you're getting nothing for a lot of time being used. But unless you get the old double invest in one team fight, then it's legit. Because that destroys them.
Oh yeah, it certainly does. Of course, having a 90-second cooldown. I also love how you can deliver items while you're infested into someone else.
And you can have Armlet on and you don't lose health. Which was different in Dota 1. You couldn't do that. You would lose health. But he doesn't have it on at the moment.
Yeah, he's sitting at 1.3k health without the armlet activated, so quite a tanky hero indeed. Of course, speaking about 6.79 changes, the cooldown on Rage was increased by 2 seconds. I believe it's now 19 instead of 17, so constantly getting nerfed in the last few patches. It, used to be much shorter. And now Firestarter going into Vendetta might be looking to go on to Slicks here, but he has a blink available. He's not too worried. He's got 2.7k gold as well, so only around 1,000 off getting his scythe. So they really need to gank him soon before he starts grabbing that scythe. And we've seen in previous games, as soon as Slicks picks up that scythe, it's like a switch flicks, and he's going to be caught out now by Shaitan and Balls, easily taking him down with the combo. And Balls Infest is actually off cooldown already, and he infests directly back into Shaitan.
He's like, I don't need farm. It's fun.
But yeah, at the moment, it's like nobody expects this. We can do it. A double damage on Puck now as well, getting as much mana as you can from those bottle charges. Still has 2 available. They're trying to set it up with Lippy and Firestarter in mid. A TP is coming in from Endless. Tomato getting caught out here. The arrow gets hit by a creep. The open wounds comes out on Kiro, but it's not enough to take him down, and 4 staffs away. They are under Moonlight Shadow, so they might not expect anything coming in, but the Nova will reveal that they are there. Ball's doing as much damage as he can, and Mirana just really not being able to do much at all. Godot sitting on only Phase, Drums, Hand of Midas. It's, you know, a decent net worth score, but it doesn't actually give you much useful... No, much use at all. Like, you have some drums for a little bit of extra move speed, some damage if you activate it, but beyond that, you're not hitting hard, barely over 100 damage, and Risk looking to re-engage here. Kiri gets caught out by the stun. In comes Puck, explodes him. Endless Winter on the other side, leaping by Godot, going sideways. Shaitan gets caught out by the stun of Crystal Maiden. The ultimate doing a lot of damage here. One more shot and it'll be the death, but Nature's Prophet killing him off. Ball's also grabbing a kill. It's a double kill for Shaitan, and they're looking to go onto this T2 tower now.
Yeah, and Hans really taking this game very strongly right now. And the problem is for CSWs, even if they come back into it, they don't have a carry. And Bulls are winning with an AX. And I mean, it's not hard to win with an AX. He's super strong mid-game. We're going to see a dive now onto Godot.
He leaps away.
Ball's getting creep blocked.
And
Ball's got creep blocked.
Shaitan too low to really do anything. Does get sent back by Chen, so they are going to put quite a lot of damage onto that T3 tower, but they won't take it down. And I think they're happy to just stay down. Kere going for a Sunstrike, but it will be off the mark. In fact, I don't even know where it landed, but didn't kill off anyone. And Balls now stealing an Ancient stack. It's just no good, but we do have Tupac just sitting on the side. He knows he's there. They have a ward there. The arrow comes through, but it's way too late, and Balls just scurries off to the side. Meanwhile, on bottom lane, Kere getting caught out by Risk and Lippy, as well as Endless Winter, TPing through for some right-click damage. And it looks like Endless Winter not going the Necro book this game, but instead building into a Scythe.
Yeah, and the Scythe, I think, is going to be a lot better this game. Slicks now does have his Scythe, and Nature's Prophet a little bit away from it because he did go for the Shadow Blade. So, I mean, he's almost a full item ahead if you think of it that way. He's pretty close to it. And he's got the Midas. Yeah, he's just got quite a bit more money.
Holla holla get dollar. I mean, he is sitting at the top of our net worth at almost 12k. Queen of Pain sitting at basically 9, so yeah, as you were saying before, a full item ahead. Slicks waiting in the wings here, though. Might be looking for a kill on Endless. Not sure if he really has the damage. Uses the Shadow Blade. Ping's coming out. He comes forward. Out comes the Scream as well as the Sunstrike. 2 more right clicks, maybe 3 more, and he does grab the kill. An excellent pickup and great teamwork there. And the Rocket Flare just coming through at the end. Balls, meanwhile, picking off a kill with Shaitan in that mid lane. And
he accidentally Shadow Bladed, hit a creep.
Attacked right after.
Yeah, he was dead.
Oh, and looking to catch Slicks now. The hook in actually hits Firestarter. Catches him in the cog. Slicks trying to run. He has blinked away. And TP's out just in time. Some great evasion by him. Dodging the gank there.
Yeah, and that was pretty unfortunate for Endless Winter there, but man, Slicks knew that. He was like, yo, just use the Shadow Blade. Insta kill.
Go.
And the Sunstrike there was really nice. And that's a max exalt Sunstrike, so that's 475 pure damage.
Yeah, I honestly think without that Sunstrike, he wouldn't have much chance of grabbing that kill. I think Nature's Prophet could have just TP'd out of there. The Scythe was already used, so there would have been no way to stop it.
Yeah, exactly. And Puck now almost having a Scythe as well. Just needs a Void Stone, so about 300 gold ahead. And let's put back a little bit. He needs another 1200 gold, so not too long for either of them, really. And, you know, as we've seen Endless Winter, he's a damn good Nature's Prophet, so he'll have that pretty quickly.
He certainly will, sitting at 3.5k gold. Shuffling his item rounds, it looks like, but he will be buying it very shortly, as you were saying. Slick's 1k gold up in the bank, did manage to get the kill on Endless Winter, of course, and evade the gank, so, you know, didn't lose any gold for it, got a nice pick off, so he's sitting pretty decently right now, and I think in this game you need to build into the BKB. And there is the double scythe pickup. Puck and
an Abyssal Blade.
Prophet grabbing it, and an Abyssal Blade. That's just an insane amount of lockdown that was just purchased.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to run from that. Actually, I don't think you do run from that. You just kind of die.
It's a 3.5 second hex. 3.5 second hex. And then the bash, which is... the activatable is 2. And if you manage to RNG bash after that, it's another 1.4 seconds.
You basically never move.
That's about 12 seconds of lockdown that was just purchased up if it hits on one target and is chained basically perfectly.
Yeah. I mean, these guys can chain that perfectly. And Roshan going to go almost to the max timer. About 7 or 8 seconds off, if that.
Yeah, I think this is the first time I've ever seen it respawn so slowly. For people that don't know the new respawn timer, there is a dot on the outside for each minute up to 8 minutes. After that, Roshan can respawn. If not, it creates an inner circle that can have 1 or 2 dots, or 0, kind of. But basically, the red timer is time missing, and each dot is a minute. So you can see 1, 2, 3, and it's just the red time is missing. So basically, the full 11-minute duration.
Yeah, it's really, and it's completely random, so it can be between 8 minutes or 11 minutes, and not on the dot each time. It can be like 8 minutes and 23 seconds, or 10 minutes and 42 seconds, or whatever.
Yeah, it's not a minute mark, so it throws a bit more randomness into the game, but, you know, some people like the change, some people hate the change. They say, you know, the team with map control is going to grab it anyway, but map control can change a lot over the course of 3 minutes.
Yeah, most definitely can. I don't think it's even that. Like, Dai has the natural advantage, but if you take out their 2 tier 1s and the bottom tier 2, they lose that advantage pretty much instantly.
Unfortunately for CSW, Hans still have all of their towers except for the top T1, so... you know, considering the amount of towers taken, the gold advantage to Hans is around 7.6k gold, so... they're not, you know, CSW aren't too far behind. If they manage to get a couple of kills, convert those into tower pushes, they catch up very quickly. So both teams are definitely still in this match.
Yeah, they certainly do. They just really need to knock down some towers. But if you look at their team, they don't actually have anything that's that good at taking towers. And they don't have the late game potential of an AX. But an AX does kind of fall off, but he doesn't in a sense that if you have a stronger carry than him, he falls off. And Kidde, you just bought your BKB and then you just activated on accident.
Oh no.
That's bad. But luckily, they would have seen it with this ward.
Yeah, and they know he was probably just switching it, might have accidentally double-clicked or accidentally clicked one of his hotkeys, but that's a BKB down and a free Roshan to Hans. Ball's picking up the Aegis, sitting at 2k gold after that Abyssal purchase, and he's just really starting to roll here. Do you think he goes for the AC next, or just straight damage in an MKB or Desolator?
I think he does need to tank up, and the minus armor will be very good for his team, because Endless Winter will start hitting pretty hard soon. He's got the Hex, and he's got another 2.4k gold. He might go for a Necro Book just to increase the push, but I think he could definitely go for some decent damage, or pick up something like a BKB to keep him alive. Because as we've said, you know, on CSW, a lot of their damage is magical. So if you pick that up, you basically stop taking damage. Other than Mirana and Quap and Invoker right clicks. I mean, Invoker does right click pretty hard, sitting at 200 damage, but his power is really into the fact that he's got a lot of spells.
Yeah, the animation isn't the greatest, the speed also not the greatest. I mean, he does have the Hand of Midas, so he attacks a little bit faster, but it's not the be-all and end-all, and especially when you're up against a Naix that's, you know, hitting for 227 as well, but has an activatable Abyssal Blade as well as an armlet that he can put on for a bit more damage and tank. You're not going to be able to trade effectively there.
Yeah, you will definitely have a little bit of a struggle there.
But right now, it looks like Hans angling to push this bottom T2. Take out the final outer tower on the map. Actually, no, sorry. They do have a T2 still at top as well. So looking to take down the second outer tower remaining.
Yeah, and they're just pushing the advantage. I mean, once you've got all the enemy towers down and they've only got one of your towers, you have so much map control, it's very, very hard for them to come back into a game, let alone gain just the map control back.
Yeah, exactly. It's very difficult. Kind of the buyback fights when you're going uphill become a little bit better when you can go out to a mid T1 tower. It makes the time to get back into the fight a lot less. Especially with heroes like Puck that can blink and jaunt, Nyx rather, who can throw out the Vendetta for a bit more movement speed. So a buyback isn't as bad as if you only have your tier 3s up, where you definitely can't get back in the fight. So it's not always the best still, because they can just buy back and walk like 10 centimeters out to get back in the fight, but it's something that you need to take into account when going for those uphill pushes and in defending.
Yeah, you most certainly do. And the fact that if, Nyx and Nature's Prophet die, you got Fest up, you're instantly back in, things like that. So it's definitely to their advantage, and there's a lot of gold on the map that CSW basically have yet to claim. But in a game like this, it's not yet to claim, but it's if they can actually get them down.
Yeah, both the T1s sitting at about 400, 500 health, so it's... They can easily be pushed if they manage to win a team fight, but as you were saying before in the last game, they're winning a team fight and pushing T1s. It's not a position you want to be in. And it will be very difficult for them to actually win those team fights and transition into a push because Endless can, as we say, buy back and just instantly TP out there. The damn Nature's Prophet Global is just so strong.
Yeah, and maybe we could even see him picking up something like an Argonym's next. I wouldn't be upset by it. It does a lot of damage. And who's going to get a BKB? Invoker? He's got one, but that's it. No one else is... I mean, Quap could get one next item, but you rely on Quap to be a lot of your damage right now, and she can move into sort of more of a right-clicky kind of thing with 2.6k. Maybe even just build something like a Daedalus.
Alrighty, and apparently Tomato's ISP is having maintenance, and he's got around 1,000 ping, and that's not something you want on a Clockwork of all heroes, where you really rely on that hook to get into fights. And something that we need to mention, this Clockwork is level 8 at 29 minutes into the game. That's
I didn't even notice that.
He's level 8.
That is rough. That is really, really rough. And there's an XP difference of 12k, and like 8,000 of that is on Tomato.
And this is on the team that has 3 Hands of Midas's.
He doesn't have one, that's the problem, Zach.
I know he doesn't have one, but I mean the experience difference is insane. And they're trading a T1 for a Tier 2 right now. They're trying to get whatever they can, but in comes Firestarter. A nice stun on Takira, who doesn't BKB in time. He is off cooldown, he does throw it out now. Throwing out the Sun Strikes and Orbs, but he can't do anything. Ball's just coming through with the right-click damage. Tupac getting shot down by the Puck. Now Godot getting silent, or rather hexed up. A double kill for Endless Winter. They don't claim the bottom T2, but they get 4 kills, and the only one left alive is a level 8 Clockwork.
And the tier 2's gonna die.
Yeah, to creeps.
Yeah. So, I mean, that could basically be game right now. Hans Reborn can definitely siege this. There is a bit of a fight up top, but Endless Winter just kills him. And
that's a full team wipe.
I think this is basically over for CSW right now. They're probably going to lose 2 racks right now. And I don't even think Hans Reborn need to back, even when they start reviving. They can probably just sit in the space and end the game.
Yeah, they have just rotated down to that bottom lane, blinking forward from Shaitan, taking out those creeps. They do have creeps in mid, so not really necessary to clean out the creep wave, but they do grab a little bit more extra damage onto those towers. That T3 just completely melting, and the melee racks will be next to follow. As you were saying, they don't really need to back. I mean, what can CSW really do? We've got a blink in from Slicks. Gets instantly hit by the Nature's Prophet ulti, dropping down to about 2/3 health. Needs to bottle up, but that's 2 sets of racks here, taken by Hans. And they're looking great to take out this first game of the best of 3. Ball's getting hexed up, but he still has the Aegis available. The Sunstrike coming down will narrowly miss, blocking 2 people out of the cogs. Endless Winter coming in from the back, killing off Queen of Pain, throwing out the BKB as well. trying to go on Godot. Slicks did buy back, throwing out a nice ult, hitting on 2, but now he's stuck. Gets hit by the stun of Firestarter and instantly eaten by that mana burn. Walls will go down, but the Aegis is there for him. It will just pop and he'll be fine. Endless Winter trying to get a kill here. Gets pushed back by the cogs, but nothing will happen. And Balls buying a Dagon 3 in the base. He's trying to dive, but he can't get onto onto Mirana, and Godot calls the good game. Hans take out the first game of this best of 3 series.
Yeah, fantastically played by Hans, and they just had the stronger lineup and just basically outplayed that game. I mean, they played really well. CSW, it looked like they could come back into the game at points, but there was just no map control, and the lack of experience was just massive on CSW. They just couldn't get the levels they needed.
So, a very well played game from both teams. Thank you to our sponsors, David Gods Parker, as well as Daredevil Dan and myself for casting the tournament. And, of course, Godot, who was a giant help in organizing all of these teams.